Hey church family, this is my weekly update video for you, and really this follows on the back of Dan's video which he put together for us last week. So if you've not seen that video, why don't you click the link in the description below, go and watch Dan's video and then come back to this video, because really this builds on everything that Dan said last week. So one big idea that I really want to encourage you to be focusing on over the next week, and it's that after Easter we're going to be focusing on really just one thing, and that one thing is that the church that was birthed on the day of Pentecost, that you can read about in Acts 2, they devoted themselves to these kind of four big things: scripture, fellowship, breaking bread or a cross-centered life, and then prayer. And so after Easter, we're going to be turning our attention to the second of those four things, a church that's devoted to fellowship. Now, fellowship has got a bad rap sometimes in the church. I sometimes have joked that fellowship, in my mind, when I think about that word, takes me back to the early days when I was growing up in a church, and it was the thing that took place after a Sunday morning service, and it involved these nasty green cups that you couldn't really get your finger in the loop to hold, and a little saucer, and that was my picture of fellowship. Yet when we read about fellowship in the New Testament, it's about lives that are lived intentionally and deeply together. And you can't do that in 10 minutes after a Sunday morning. And so really our focus for this coming term is helping us as a church to open up our homes, open up our diaries, and open up our lives to one another, that we might be people who grow in fellowship together. Now, we live in an incredibly individualistic society, and so this is going to push against some areas in our lives, and I suspect at times it's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable. And so here's maybe a mind switch that you can flick that might help you engage with next term. As you'll be aware, we're not planning to have conventional discipleship groups next term. What we're planning to do is to have this alternating focus of one weekday evening, all of us gathering together, including our kids, in the main hall to eat together, and then a short 5-minute block of kind of teaching or explaining what's going to happen, and then the next week is really over to everyone. And so here's the mind switch that I'd love you to flick. Next term, if next term is going to be a success for us as a church to really grow and mature in fellowship, I think each one of us needs to have the mindset that we, like in a normal term, are now going to be leading a discipleship group. That this coming term is about each one of us having the mindset that we're now leading a discipleship group. What I mean by that is that each one of us needs to see our time, our diary, our homes as being open to other people. And we need to be intentional about inviting people into our diary, into our homes, into our lives. And that's the mindset of somebody who would normally lead a discipleship group. So really, this video is an invitation to you to consider next term that you're leading a discipleship group. And it's a discipleship group that will be focused on growing in fellowship. And it's a discipleship group where week in, week out, you'll be doing different things, and we're going to be learning on the way. But ultimately, opening up your home, opening up your diary, opening up your life is the responsibility that you have. And in fact, it's the gift that you have to give to other people. And so I hope that if each one of us were to take that mind shift and flick that switch in our mind, I think that this coming term is going to be not only a huge success, but also a great joy as we see many people coming into our lives and deep and intentional fellowship being formed. I hope this video helps. God bless you all. Look forward to seeing you on Sunday.